Our heroes are humble. They have an inner pride to keep this idea alive. Protectors are born, they're not made. America's Secret Service protecting this Super Bowl is asking a few more to step forward.
The United States Secret Service looking to hire, using the Super Bowl to spotlight and launch that recruiting effort. The one-minute advertisement titled A History of Protection, airing inside of the Superdome. It was on the Jumbotron. The video was directed by Michael Bay. It cost $2 million to put it together. Features several big moments in American history, including former President Lincoln, comments from former Presidents Kennedy and Reagan, the 9/11 attacks, and the July assassination attempt against President Trump. It comes as the Secret Service has been under a microscope, taking some serious heat in the past year. The near assassination attempt by a gunman at a rally last July in Butler, Pennsylvania. That attempt revealing stunning problems within the Secret Service. And an investigation found communication gaps and a lack of diligence by Secret Service contributed to that day. A special task force also looking into how security was handled. The now former Secret Service Director, Kimberly Cheadle, testifying on Capitol Hill, describing the event security as a failure on multiple levels.
The assassination attempt of former President Donald Trump on July 13th is the most significant operational failure of the Secret Service in decades.
Ronald Rowe stepped in as acting director for the embattled agency, and during his testimony, he too acknowledged the failures within the agency that day.
July 13th was a failure of the Secret Service to adequately secure the Butler Farm Show site and protect President-elect Trump. That abject failure underscored critical gaps in Secret Service operations, and I recognize that we did not meet the expectations of the American public, Congress, and our protectees.
And then there was the second attempt on Trump's life. That took place 2 months later at the Trump International Golf Club. The president telling the New York Post that he wants answers, demanding agents to provide him with all of the information on both assassination attempts. The Secret Service has long struggled with staff retention and turnover. Right now, there's about 8,100 employees. Roughly 3,600 are special agents. 1,500 are uniformed division officers. Nearly 275 are technical law enforcement personnel, and more than 2,400 are administrative employees. Donald Lane is with us, former Secret Service agent under Presidents George W. Bush and Bill Clinton. Welcome back, as always. Thanks for being here, and good morning.
Good morning. Good to see you, Marnie.
I want to start with a personal question because I'm wondering who this ad really spoke to and your decision to take on the job in the Secret Service. At what point in your life did that become your dream, your passion, something that you wanted to do?
You know, personally, it was just something that I wanted to do. I had applied for a number of different federal agencies. And once I started to become more educated with the dual role of the Secret Service, which is both criminal investigator, special agent in the traditional sense that you would ordinarily see, the FBI, so forth, along with this protective mission, it became appealing to me. And that's really what drew me to the role.
And what would be your advice, Donald, for new recruits? Anybody who saw that ad and thought, this might be for me?
I'd say, look, if you think it's for you, apply to the position, whatever that may be, whether it's uniform division or special agent or, some of the more technical roles, and go through the process. But keep in mind that it's a very fast-paced job. Depending on where you apply to and what position, you'll move a lot during your career and be away from your family. It does require a great deal of dedication. So I try to let folks know who are applying that, this is not your run-of-the-mill position, that's for sure. And, you're not going to be a CPA sitting in an office. It's going to be pretty fast-paced.
Yeah, it's high stress. I mean, I think it's probably a job where work-life balance is a struggle.
It is. It is very much a struggle. Agents are and uniform division officers are on the road, very frequently, because of that protective mission that the agency has. So you're not only traveling for cases of investigation that you may have, but you're also traveling no matter what phase of your career you're in for protection. And that causes a lot of challenges, certainly, for an individual as far as work-life balance is concerned.
And because of that, and you've got this retention and turnover issue, might the department be looking at enticing new candidates and perhaps striking a different balance? If you've got more people, you can offer that work-life balance a little bit better. Is that at least the idea?
I think so. I really do. And I think that that's vital. I really do think it's vital. Historically, the Secret Service is understaffed. If you look at the numbers compared to other federal agencies in terms of just I can speak from the special agent position. It's usually much lower than in other agencies. And so, the more people we can bring on board to mitigate those issues, to make it a little more pleasant in terms of dealing with your family, it can only help the agency move forward in its mission. So that's, I think, something that they're taking a look at finally, which is great.
Right. And we went through a few of the different jobs, but what's the general trajectory for a new agent to move through the ranks?
Well, an agent, of course, you would be talking about an 1811 job code in the federal government, which is designated as a special agent or criminal investigator. And the trajectory usually is you start out, you learn investigations, and that's very important to learn to be a good criminal investigator before you move into the more permanent protective roles, which last for years. You want to be able to spot those folks who maybe look out of place, who maybe have a criminal bent. And being a criminal investigator and having training and experience in that really prepares you for those roles on protection where you can better identify those folks in a crowd, for instance.
Now, let's see if this recruitment helps. It's a thankless job. It's a tough job. There's no room for error. You did it. You lived it. Donald Lane, thank you for your expertise.
Thank you so much. Have a good day.
You too.